Welcome everyone to the Overdye channel. My name is Brian and I'd like to thank Matt and Graham for the opportunity to go over some of the pieces that I have in my personal Visvim collection. So rather than going through my entire collection, I thought it'd be nice to maybe highlight the top 5 items that have the most meaning to me. So Visvim overall is a brand that is meticulous with the details of each and every piece that they produce, and some of these pieces aren't rare by any means. We do have a mix of some mainline stuff and some I.C.T stuff, but for the most part, it's pieces that I have a connection with. And I think that these pieces really highlight the ethos of overdye, a lot of, hand dyeing techniques and things of that nature. And so with that being said, let's get started. So the first piece has already been talked about by Graham, but honestly, this is one of my favorite shirts that Visvim has ever produced. So this is the I.C.T Pioneer from 2021. It has this beautiful blue color, and the way that it distresses over time as you wear it is absolutely insane. And I think one of the important things to highlight for me too is that the Pioneer is currently my favorite shirting silhouette from Visvim. And this, to me, out of all the pieces that I own, this is my favorite piece. It's also, the color makes it extremely wearable, the fit, the fabric. The fabric isn't necessarily lightweight, but it's not heavy either. It's kind of like somewhere in the middle. And so it makes it a good, all year round piece. So going over the details of one of my favorite Pioneer shirts, this is the 2021 iteration from the I.C.T line. As you can see, the dyeing effect on this shirt is absolutely insane. Like many typical I.C.T items, you have the Kofu patch at the collar, and you also have these Kofu patches on the cuffs of the shirt. I think that the dyed buttons also give it a nice contrast and really complement this shirt very well. So here we have, the classic 20-liter Cordura backpack. And the reason why this one means a lot to me is because I use it basically during every single family trip that I take. When I don't want an additional carry-on, I'll use this, and I literally take this thing everywhere. So it's held up extremely well. This is one of those classic Visvim items that everyone should probably have. The next item we're going to be looking at is the 20-liter Cordura backpack in the brown colorway. I think that the way this lambskin has aged and patinaed over time is absolutely great. As I might have already mentioned, I take this thing with me everywhere, and it's been on several family vacations and work trips, and it's held up so well. So this backpack has several different compartments. You have this, front compartment that's like a separate little pocket that you can use to store your wallet, keys, and things like that. You have this larger compartment that has a pouch for you to put your laptop or some other, electronic device in there. You have this additional pocket in that main compartment with an opening for headphones, and you can actually feed them through this little opening here. Lambskin leather here. You kind of have it on all the little zippers. I believe these are I.C.T. These pockets on the side are rather shallow. Honestly, I find them kind of useless. I know that this is probably an umbrella holder, but I don't really ever use that. There you have the Cordura fabric tag with a separate compartment for you to put additional electronic devices. You could also access the shank plate that the backpack has. It's kind of like this piece of plastic, but you can actually access it through there. Moving on to the back, you have this padding that's extremely comfortable, kind of reminiscent of motorcycle vest. It's really cool, really comfortable. This brown colorway hides dirt very well, and I think it's a piece that I'll be using for many years to come. The next piece I'd like to highlight is this Kora down vest from 2021. This one is from the I.C.T line. The reason why this piece is special is because it's the first vintage bandana piece that I purchased from Visvim. Like pretty much every other Visvim collector, the kerchief is kind of like the grail for many of us. And at the time, the kerchief wasn't available for me to purchase, but this piece was. I remember seeing the details on it and just falling in love with it as soon as I saw it. It does have an A-line silhouette that a lot of people aren't a fan of. It kind of balloons at the bottom, but with a hoodie or a jumbo or an ampless, I think the fit can be complementary. So the piece is obviously reversible, and as you can see, the pattern on this is absolutely crazy. I'll be going over some of the details and the specifics on this piece in a little bit, but it's just, I think that this was the first piece where I really picked up on the level of attention and detail that Visvim takes on all of its garments. So the next piece is the Kora down vest. As you can kind of tell here, it has that A-line silhouette where it kind of you know, tapers off from the chest to the bottom of the vest. The outer shell is composed of a cotton nylon blend. This specific color is the mustard color. The custom buttons are a really nice touch. They're easy to, you know, put on and take off. I personally prefer this Kora silhouette versus the newer one. I have a longer torso, so the length of this version kind of fits my body better. So what makes this piece special is the vintage bandanas that are used, and as you can see, you have a variety of different textures, patterns, and colors. I think this component is what drew me towards it. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's got more of like a purple hue versus the rest of the vest. And being a vintage bandana piece, it's obviously very special, and it's something that I plan on using. Ironically enough, I don't actually wear it on this side much. I feel that it can be a little bit too much for some people, and not just that, but it kind of adds to the specialness of the garment. It's kind of like the interior is only for me to know, and it's a component that I really enjoy when wearing. Continuing on to the back, you kind of have a more evenly matched bandana color tone. This one here, you know, has a nice age and wear to it, so I really enjoy that piece. But other than that, this backside is, you know, pretty symmetrical. Another thing to note with this particular Kora down vest is that it is filled with white goose down feathers. So keeping in the theme of classic Visvim silhouettes, here we have an Irish jacket from 2022. The reason why this one is special is because this was the first piece I ever purchased at a Visvim trunk show. After buying, you know, some of the items that I previously showed, and among other things, I finally got the invitation to, you know, participate in a trunk show. So Visvim trunk shows are like things of legend. Everyone knows that you're able to see the following season's items and kind of experience everything in person, and it's just a really nice opportunity to really connect with the brand and with the team and see some of the future releases that are coming up. It also allows you to plan financially because, I mean, let's not kid ourselves, these pieces are very expensive, especially here in the US. So the reason I chose this piece specifically is because I really liked the effect that the mud dye had on the nylon. It gave it this nice like matte finish. And in addition to that, I'd always wanted an Irish jacket, but the liner fit never really worked. Some of the more hyped colors like the pink one are like a liner fit, and that even in a size 5 would never work with my body. I see green irises all the time, but the blue really stood out to me. It almost has this like bluish gray color, and I just thought it looked really, really nice. So here's the interior of the Irish jacket. I love the way the zipper kind of like complements the rest of the body. But with that being said, let's go over some of the details. So next we have the Irish jacket from 2022. This was the first item I ever purchased from a Visvim trunk show, and so it means a lot to me. The Irish silhouette is obviously something that Visvim collectors all should have in their closet. Riri zippers come standard on this version as well, and you kind of have this like herringbone fabric on the cuffs. So flipping the jacket over, you have a full rayon lining that honestly is amazing to look at. The fact that this jacket was mud dyed gives the rayon and the nylon from the exterior a nice matte finish. This cotton herringbone that runs next to the Riri zipper is also a really cool detail. You also have these hits of blue nylon at the armpit and elbow. And overall, this silhouette's a classic silhouette from Visvim, and it's one that I really enjoy wearing. One thing to note with this version of the Irish jacket is that it is a little bit roomier than the liner fit, and in addition to that, this version is filled with polyester. Before going over the last piece, I kind of wanted to give a little bit of a backstory on why it has so much meaning to me. So, like many of you, there's a list of items that, you know, you want to purchase before you're finished collecting, if that's even possible, right? New crazy pieces drop all the time, but one of those pieces for me was the I.C.T. Grizzly boot. So in November 2023, Visvim opened its Carmel location here in California, and I was fortunate enough to be invited with my brother to the friends and family opening reception. So the drive to Carmel from Los Angeles is somewhere between 4.5 to like maybe 6 hours, depends on the route that you take and the traffic conditions, but my brother and I decided to make a day trip out of it. So as you all know, Visvim has a very limited number of flagship stores here in the US, so to be able to experience the opening of a new location was, you know, something that we thought would be a great opportunity to experience. When we arrive, you know, we're walking up and we see Hiroki and Kelsey at the door. Immediately they greeted us. They were extremely kind, extremely thoughtful, and you know, they obviously thanked us for attending, but more than anything, we wanted to thank them for the opportunity to be here for such a special moment for the brand. And this was kind of like, you know, like peak, like, all right, I'm meeting like, you know, one of my, you know, designer idols, and it's an experience that I got to share with my brother, and we're both really, really big fans of the brand. And just to see the length that the team, the staff, go to make, you know, clients and customers feel special was really, you know, awe-inspiring. So not only was meeting Hiroki a highlight for me, but at the store there was several pieces that were available for customers to purchase. So they had like, you know, kerchiefs available, and they had the I.C.T satchel available too. I had already had the satchel and all that, so I wanted to pick up something different. So sitting in the corner though was a pair of the I.C.T Grizzly boot. And I'd been wanting the boot for a while, but I just wasn't sure if I wanted to spend that amount of money in that moment. But I figured, you know, what better way to commemorate meeting, you know, Hiroki and experiencing the new Carmel store than to pick up one of the boots that I've been wanting since I got turned on to Visvim. So here are the boots in question. They are the 2023 iteration of the Grizzly boots from the Indigo Camping Trailer line. These are honestly, the hype is real with these. So these things are tanks, to say the least. I've worn them in all kinds of weather, and they look, you know, the same as when I bought them. And I think the fact that I had a great trip to Carmel with my brother, that I was able to meet Hiroki, that I hung out with the staff and met some people there that I wouldn't have otherwise met just a few years ago, I think these will, you know, always have a special place in my heart. So. And taking us to the finish line is the pair of 2023 I.C.T Grizzly boots. Zooming in on the Belgian cow leather here, you can see the effect that the mud has had on different pieces and panels of this boot. Kofu patch detail can be found at the collar, and the typical Riri zip is used on this model as well. Honestly, you can probably look at these boots all day and find new details throughout. Thank you all for tuning into the video and kind of, you know, going over some of my favorite memories and pieces during my Visvim collection journey. I think that what Matt and Graham are doing here with Overdye is really, really cool and allows the community another way to connect with one another. I know that my experience through selling with Overdye and with Matt has been absolutely great. He's extremely communicative, and you know, he's helped me throughout the entire process of selling some pieces, and I'm always keeping a lookout on the new size 5s that are being posted, and there's always deals to be had as well. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Graham, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Peace.